Speech off.
Hey everybody, it's Beverly with Bama Blind, and I'm going to do a video right now of what we have been up to for the last 2 weeks that I have neglected to put into any of my videos. You probably heard some building on the video that I did, Designed by the Blind, which was creativity, and this is kind of a follow-on to that, but what I'm panning in on right now is a really tall archway that's in my TV room den. And, I think I've said on most of my videos that we have moved into a house. We bought a house 20 years ago, and it belonged to my grandparents, and my father grew up in the house. So it's very, very sentimental to us. But we added about 500 square feet on to the back of the house when we moved in, because we had two daughters and the house had 3 bedrooms, but one of the bedrooms actually did not have any exterior windows or doors, which really wasn't a bedroom. So we turned it into a dining room. We designed that. And then we built on 2 additional bedrooms and a full bathroom. And it was the very first project I had been able to do. I absolutely love our architect and architectural design. And, I wasn't trained in that at all. I just like it. I like spatial things. I've always had very good spatial perception. I grew up taking art lessons with charcoals and later pastels, and then eventually into oil paints. So I've got perspective from an art point, but I love the 3D effect that I get with architecture and designing floor plans. So when my husband and I decided to build own, and it was immediately after we bought the house. So we moved into the house, and then we started living with the contractors coming in and out and adding on to this historic house. The first thing we did is design an opening to get to the 2 back rooms, and because for the exterior part of the house, we had to put it on right here at the westmost part of our house. We designed an archway, and it matches the archway that was already here from the previous owner, which was my cousin. And they're like an 8-foot tall archway, and they're really, really pretty, about 40 inches wide, about 8 feet tall. And then as you look into our kitchen, we've kind of got the same design, but it's about 8 feet wide and about 8 feet tall. And then it just looks directly into our kitchen from our TV room. So there's a kitchen island and, white cabinets and black countertops. And I designed all of that. I laid it out and designed the color scheme very, very carefully. I really was picky on my light fixtures. We have some period looking light fixtures. Since our house was, built in 1893, we didn't want anything modern. But right here, I was going to show you what we've been doing. We have hardwood floors throughout this entire house, and they're original to the house. But when we built on, we put carpeting because it was, bedrooms for our 2 daughters, and we wanted carpeting in there. But since we're empty nesters, we decided we hit a milestone this year. We paid off our house. We have no mortgage. So we said, okay, let's just do some renovations to these back 2 rooms. And all we did basically is pull up the carpet. And we had a crew come in and lay down hardwood floors. And they're oak, and they are stained a dark oak, because that's what we like. And I designed this whole addition. So I was just going to show you, this is what a blind person does when, they want a hobby and they can't sit and sketch and doodle and draw anymore. So right now I'm standing in the hallway, which actually accesses the 2 rooms. This hallway is 5 feet long, so it's a very short hallway, and 4 feet wide. So it's basically built so that you could get to the room on the right, the room straight ahead, and the room to the left, which is a full bathroom. And so I'm going to show you what we did, and let me go first to the doorways in this little hallway. You have 3 doors. They're very close together, and at the tops of each door, we still have the original design that this house was built with, which have window transoms at the top. And those are windows designed to open up. We have 12-foot ceilings, and the transoms are about at the 10-foot level. So when you open those up, all the hot air from that room escapes. And when you're down here at the 5-foot, 6-foot level, it's relatively cool because 12 feet allows for the hot air to rise and be out of your breathing space. And of course they knew that, back when they built this house, and because we live in the South, it just makes a lot of sense. But we reproduced the same transoms at the tops of each of these 3 doorways in this entry hall that gets you to the 2 bedrooms and the bathroom. So one of the things that I did is there's a window. If you have vision, you can see that straight ahead from where I am, all the way through that room that's straight ahead of me is a window, and it's got a western exposure. And the reason I did that is so it'll collimate and you can get light coming through when the sun sets, even though I'm backing up as I speak, even though now I'm right back into the TV room den. But because we have the archway and it doesn't have a door or anything, it stays open. As long as you leave that bedroom door open, you get this open feeling because you have a direct view to all the way to the end of the house, the west end of the house. So that was one thing that was strategically planned by me. I wanted the window so that you could see it all the way in 3 rooms away. Gretchen is barking. So I'll start off here with the room that you enter into, the first room on your right. And it was originally built, we made it as a 4th bedroom, but we used it as an office for the longest time. It's 20 feet long and 10 feet wide. And it's got a little jut out in front because that's the closet for the other bedroom. But it's got 12-foot ceilings. It's got 3 huge, massive windows, 2 on one wall and 1 on the west wall. And it's got these gorgeous hardwood floors that they just finished. My husband just finished painting all the molding, and I'll show you the molding because down at the bottom here, the old houses had, this is what it's called a quarter round shoe molding at the very base, which connects the hardwood floor to this tall baseboard. Our baseboard is about 12 inches tall and it's solid. I don't know what it is. In the other part of the house, it's mahogany. So and it's painted here. So we have this 12-inch tall baseboard. Then at the top of that, you have another like a crown molding, and I don't really know what you call it, but it sits at the top of the 12-inch baseboard. And so it makes for a really pretty ornate look. And then when you get over here to the windows, I'm going to walk across the room. When you get to the windows, you'll see that the windows are about they're actually 8 feet tall, but they're a good 1 foot off of the floor. So it's really about a 7-foot tall window, and it's got a wide windowsill here that I designed, and it's got molding window casing, which is the white woodwork that goes all around the window. And this one is designed to perfectly mimic all of the windows in the original part of the house, again built in 1893. So it's got a lot of grooves in it. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then a flat part, and then an indention, and then 6, and then a flat part, 7, 8, 9, I count 9 grooves. And most panels of woodwork, I don't know if you're into architecture, probably not, but you can feel all this. You don't have to have sight to appreciate this gorgeously carved woodwork. At the very top, I can't reach it, but at the very top on the corners of each window is a piece called a rosette. And it has some intricately carved round circular things that have some indentions and some grooves and some elevations, and it almost looks like I would hate to say like a frisbee, but it almost looks like a small little disc, but it's carved into the wood, so it dresses up the tops of each of the windows. And we mimicked those when we redid this part of the house. And if you have vision, you're really definitely picking up my favorite part of this whole room, which is I had it painted, it's called Moonlight Yellow. And I really, really needed yellow in my life. As I stand here right now, because I can't tell you anything that's in this room. I can't tell you if there's clutter on the floor, which there's not. It's completely open hardwood floor right now. But there are cells in my eyes that somehow are picking up that yellow, because the yellow is expanding from the top of my vision to the bottom of my vision, and almost 100 and I would say at least 130 degrees side to side. So I'm getting color just by standing here, and it elevates my mood. So we have a richly, it's a softened yellow. A moonlight yellow to me means that it's yellow, it's a base yellow with silver and white mixed in to make it kind of like the full moon looks. And so anyway, I can make it that color in my head, and that's why I like it. So anyway, this room here is 20 feet long and 10 feet wide. And we're probably going to put some more furniture pieces in here that we really need for storage, because these old houses don't have storage. And I might put my Pilates machine in here so I have an exercise room instead of having to go out to my garage and exercise. So that's probably what I'm gonna do with this. And then straight across the hall, this tiny little hall, is a full bathroom, which is 5 feet wide and 15 feet deep, long. And at the end of it, it's got a full tub with shower, and it's all tiled up to the top window. And I had them put a window in there because I just like light in, coming into a bathroom. And it's got a vanity and toilet. And then straight ahead, if you had come straight ahead in, this is our guest bedroom, and it's 15 by 15. And it's got 3 of the identical same windows, except for the window that's straight in front of me. I had to carefully go outside and measure the distance of the roof to the, we have a crawl space, so we have like a foundation wall outside. So I had to measure that, and in my mind picture what the 2 windows would look like. Because in this room, the way the attic is done, this room has a 9.5 foot ceiling, whereas the yellow room had a 12-foot ceiling. But we needed the windows basically to all match. So we ended up, I did some mathematics and figured out, okay, the window that we order for that westernmost wall has to be 6 inches shorter than all the other windows that we ordered. And then to make it the most interesting thing to me, and now this room is painted blue, and it's got all the same white trim. But the most interesting thing to me is that when we got ready to do the addition, I told my husband, I said, I would love to draw the floor plan, but I couldn't draw. And I had my CCTV, and it would give me about 3 little squares on a grid, and I couldn't see well enough to get a whole picture. And then when I reduced it down, I couldn't see the squares well enough to draw. So I had to blow it up to make it big, and then I couldn't get a full picture of what I wanted. So I looked and looked around, and I found we had about 4 of them, but they are bath sheets. They're big old huge towels that you lay on the beach with, and we had bought them a couple of years earlier. But the beauty of them is that the design on these bath sheets, they were really, really big, and they were nothing but squares. So each square on the bath sheet was a 1 inch by 1 inch square. And you could actually feel where the lines were on the lines were actually sewn in to the bath sheet. So it was almost like a quilted feeling. So I was able to see the white lines on the dark blue bath sheet, and I was able to feel the lines. And so I started counting out, and I went and got some masking tape. And I took masking tape, and I actually measured out on the bath sheet how many squares. For example, this room is 15 by 15. So I measured out 15 squares by 15 squares. And then and the masking tape, I just stretched off of the roll and placed it where the wall should have been, where I would have taken a pencil and drawn a wall. I used masking tape. That way I could feel it and touch it and look at it as it related to the squares, and then move it. I could just peel it up and put it somewhere else if I didn't want that, or I could take it and cut it. And in this case right here, put the doorway on this wall. This is not really, this is not a 15-foot wall, because it's got a 4-foot space over here where the wood molding is and the doorway. So this is really more of a 9-foot wall. And so I was able to do that with a masking tape, with a bath sheet, bath towel that had squares on it like a grid, and I laid it down on my dining room table, and I worked on it every day, and I got it just the way I wanted it. I went outside. We had some old, it was a roll of kind of like poster paper, the kind of paper that you put on the back of a bulletin board, like a teacher would put on the back of a bulletin board before they put stuff on a bulletin board. I had a roll of that I don't know how it showed up here. Anyway, I took that and I cut out pretend furniture with that. And I laid that pretend furniture like across the room there. We knew we would have a dresser, and the dresser was 72 inches long, and the dresser was about 18 inches deep. So I took that bulletin board paper, which was a huge, huge long roll, like hundreds and hundreds of feet long, and I cut out the exact dimensions of the furniture piece. And I laid it in another room to see, okay, this is what it would look like. So then that made me understand that the 15 by 15 would be perfect for the furniture that we already had, because we had some very specific furniture that had to go into this room. I did the same thing with the bathroom. I cut out the amount of paper that it would take to exactly match the dimensions of the tub and the toilet and the vanity. So the vanity was the thing that, we had some leeway with. It could be short, or it could be more long. And we needed it certain inches away from the toilet, and the toilet certain inches away from the tub. So to me, the interesting thing is my husband let me do all this. After I did all of this, he took my design and put it on graph paper, just as it had been designed. Then our builder came in and took all those dimensions and measurements and built all this. So Jerry and I didn't build this, but I designed it. I'm blind, I could not see. And, it reminded me of when I could see, and I would draw and paint and absolutely get lost in time and in myself and I think in spirit. It might sound kind of cheesy, but it's not. When you're doing something that you really love, and I was doing it knowing that I couldn't see. And so I thought, okay, when I get finished with this, I'm going to be able to tell people that I actually designed this floor plan. And it might not be big to some people, but to do that and not be able to see, I think is just proves that, you can do things when you can't see. You just have to do them differently. And I'm going to make a couple of other videos because there are about four other examples that I've done since this. This was my very first project. And like I said, it was 20 years ago. And my husband and I reached a milestone this past fall. We paid off our mortgage. We had a little party to ourselves, and then we said, okay, now we're gonna rip up some carpet and put hardwoods in, and do a little sprucing up. And so I just wanted to give you a video of that. There's my kitchen. It's neat enough for the video. It's not totally clean. I've got breakfast dishes that are in the sink. That's how it is around here. And then just to let you know that we still haven't gotten yet to the damage that was done the other day by some wind. I'm pointing now to the end of my kitchen area where the dining room is. We have tarp on the floor. We have our kitchen table. We have pots and pans which have catched water for the last 3 days, and we have some furniture that is going to come out of here and go back into that blue bedroom, the big 15 by 15 bedroom. Then we're going to move the dining room, that kitchen dining room table out of here. Then we have to rip out the sheetrock on the ceiling because it's all damaged. We have a really pretty light fixture that's over our breakfast table, but our contractor's already come in and he says, look, we got to get the furniture out of here and then rip out the sheetrock and then fix some damage that's inside the attic. We have this huge attic upstairs, and then go outside and replace a lot of roofing that just needs replacing anyway. So I just wanted to give you an update and show you the designs and tell you what we've been up to, in addition to so many other things that are happening. But this is the way life is, and it keeps me busy. Gretchen does keep me busy. This keeps me busy. My family really keeps me busy, my extended family. And if you have any questions, just please leave some comments. I'm not looking for any kudos or anything. I'm just interested to know if anybody else has this kind of bizarre interest, because it is, for me, a way that I have transferred my two-dimensional art interest into some form which is three-dimensional and very spatial. So I'll talk to you next time, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.